About Anaconda. Okay, so yes, as a company, if a company is using the library provided by this, they need enterprise support. So Anaconda works out with that. So most of the companies in Bangalore or outside, you'll see Anaconda is a popular, enterprise product support for any data analysis work. So this is a popular, and whatever environment you will be writing the code on here, it will be very much what you'll see in across various industries as well. Okay, this was about this. So get it installed. Do next after the installation. After it is downloaded, right? Do next, and there you will ask. It will ask a prompt here, and you have to check there that we install this in my default path. That sort of prompt will be there. Just check it over there. Okay, make it tick mark so that the path is added to your file system file system. Fine, right? Okay, this is the first part of the ecosystem. Now, okay, so this is our one of the foundational course. Okay, before anybody can get into deep learning or AI or any of the other stuff. Okay, or we have a few other courses like we have machine learning in using H2O. Where is it? Yeah, machine. This is one of the latest technology that has come up in this space. Okay, yeah. So this is the course we are getting into. Okay. So first phase would be understanding NumPy. What is NumPy? It is a foundational mathematical library, nothing else. Okay, I mean ISRO, your all the companies which use a lot of mathematical computation, right? They use NumPy a lot. Okay, it is. I'll talk a lot more about it, but it is one of the mathematical computation library because machine learning is nothing but maths internally, and this NumPy actually does everything around it. After that, we'll be using pandas. Okay, what is pandas basically? Okay, okay. What is pandas? Pandas are your data processing packet library. Okay, so for example, whatever data you will be getting in, right, it might be not clean. What does it mean? There can be a lot of junk data in it. It might need a lot of processing there, a lot of cleaning there. So you do all the data analysis with pandas. Okay, so similar thing, R has a lot of other alternatives. Okay, but pandas, like if you have been already working with any of the BI tool, Power BI or many other BI tools, pandas is the open source alternative to that. Okay, and the reason why it is so popular now, free. More than that, you can do any data aggregation, data analysis, right? You can use pandas extensively for data analysis. Okay, so together, and the third part is matplotlib, which is about visualization, plotting graphs and charts. After you have analyzed the data, you want to put the data across in a in a way that it can start making sense. That is your matplotlib. So these three things together takes around 10 to 15 hours. Okay, so I'll show all the code also which is around this. So open this GitHub. Exams. No, no, this one. Okay, so here, for example, these are the current, the previous batch, I mean, which is continuing now. Those nodes, so you can see, for example, this is visualization. Okay, so you can see here, you learn how to plot graphs that starts making sense for you, right? And it's not that difficult to do this plotting. Like you have some data. Okay, like this sort of plot and more so is coming, more data representation by graphs. Okay. So you can see here the various plotting that can come handy to you. Understood, right? This is the third phase: data, mathematical computation, data cleaning, processing, and then finally visualization. Okay. After this part is clear, this is what I say data analysis part of the course, where you typically learn how to do data analysis. Okay. After that, you will be getting into machine learning. Okay, machine learning, this is involved. Okay, a lot of mathematical concepts get introduced here. Okay, so for those also, okay, but this is the pandas notes and everything that you can come handy. Okay, and as far as machine learning is concerned, so you can find few of the notes here, like understanding theoretically what is machine learning, right? uh, what is the flow chart of doing machine learning, like this is the process data gathering. Till this point it is you're doing it with pandas and matplotlib, right? After that your machine learning journey starts, what all to regression, classification, understand all these things. And this is a very popular diagram, of course not made by me. Okay, and here it talks about the entire journey of, suppose you get the data, what do you do, classification, what are the various steps. Of course this is a very minimalistic diagram, as you will realize in a couple of classes that it is much beyond this. Okay. Okay. So, and throughout this course, we will be, doing a lot of projects. Okay. As you can see here, once the scikit-learn starts, then you have hyperparameter tuning, feature engineering, linear regression, logistic regression, naive Bayes, and key means, decision tree, random forest, then nearest neighbors, web scraping, recommender engines. So actually, this is we based on the time availability and course space, right? We provide 20% extra as well, but we don't mention that in course. That is your SDM, okay, your PC dimension detection and PCA. So these two three topics are provided extra that we don't mention here because sometimes it's very difficult because each of these contents is very heavyweight. Okay, and if we try to do a lot of projects here, which can be found for the previous batches here. Right. So anything that has depended with the project word like this is predicting whether the employee will quit the company or not. Okay, this is from food reviews, right? You want to predict what is the rating of the food, right? Then image identification, right? Then from bank statement you want to predict whether the person will take the policy or not. Okay, this sort of predicting from from a blog how many comments will this receive. From marketing data we'll predict how much sales will happen, right? So we try to do all this stuff here. Okay, and two major sources of data and problems is, one is UCI. Okay, make a note of this, UCI. So I'll be using a lot of data from this website. This is the website. Okay, it will be there in the notes and all. I mean, that's okay. So this is a UCI. You'll see here a lot of different categorical data, numerical data. All this information is here. Just view all data sets. Okay, categorical, numerical, all the data will be there. Understood, right? Okay, so this is one place. Another is, of course, see, please understand that, this entire process of learning it is, there have been, if this subject has a lot of academic background, right? Okay, but as when the industry absorption starts, the most important thing is, are you able to write code? Okay, so take that as an ultimate goal. I mean, if you're able to write code with little plus and minus, you could add value to any product, right? And then you are more recruitable. Okay, of course it is interesting, but it will be interesting as long as you're able to solve some problem with it. Then only you can stick around with this. If you stick around enough with this, definitely you will be mastering the subject. And if you know the subject, there is no shortage of recruiters for this. Job is one aspect, and otherwise also, if you're interested, then you can build something on your own. Okay, so what was I about to show? Yeah, Kaggle. Many of you might have heard about this, Kaggle.com. So we take up problems from here and try to solve it in the class. Okay, during the end of the courses, so that you get a hang of it, how to do it, and that fear of solving problem actually is gone. Okay, just but understand this aspect. And the course is a little okay, though we call it the foundation course because a lot of other things are there in the following up courses, but still it is quite a lot. Okay, So I would definitely encourage to write after every class, spend a couple of more hours, like doing whatever we have studied. Maybe feel free to read more information from other sources as well, because this is quite unlimited, the content, right? So whatever topic you're doing, try to solve some problems on it. Okay, there will always be things that will be coming new to you. Okay, this is, oh, there is this way, this is better, but be open to that. Okay, that's the key idea. Hmm. Okay, I think the installation should be in progress. Okay, after installation, okay, so what you have to do, this is your, I think all of you know this, this is your PowerShell. Okay, so you have to use the command Jupyter Space Notebook, something like this. Jupyter Space Notebook. It will open up a browser like a port like this. Understood, right? Copy this URL like the way I'm doing it. Okay, initially I will be telling you to write some code in the classroom itself. This whole idea is, to get eliminate that code writing friction in the classroom. So initially, after that you will be comfortable. Then I'll be giving more on assignment. Okay, please do this, or maybe small exercises in project classes. Okay, this sort of page will come up. Then what you can do, new Python 3. Okay, so this becomes so. And after writing, doing this everything in the class, I'll be uploading to the GitHub, which you can refer after the classroom. Understood the entire process? How do you do it? Okay. No, no. If your installation is complete, then only this command will go. Yeah. Then only you will be able to execute this. Make sure this Jupyter and all those things are installed in the Anaconda folder itself. As long as you have path in your environmental file, you should be able to find it out. Okay. In case of any difficulty, let me know. No, Mukesh, the URL will be available only to me. This URL. Oh, you mean the GitHub URL, right? Sorry. Okay, this is one URL. This is the, yeah, the old course URL. Then okay, so I've sent both the URLs. So I take all your email ID as well, and we'll create a WhatsApp group so that I can share all the materials.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with NumPy. Okay. Okay, so everybody's environment is ready. Nice. Huh? Oh, his installation is we were previously installed. Oh, nice. Okay, that's what I was wondering. How did it happen so fast? Okay, and downloading, right? Okay, okay. That's okay. So, huh? Mathematics. I was just writing about it. Okay, so that's okay. I mean, just keep following today. Okay, so by the end of the class, okay, we'll make sure the installation is complete. I think it will take some time, right? Okay, let's okay when that happens.
Install for just me, right?
No, it will take next. It will take some time. Okay. So in the meantime, let's just follow the class. Okay, so this is some introduction to NumPy. Okay, so what is the first thing about it? It's a fast mathematical computational library. Remember, it is meant for doing mathematical computation really fast.
Okay.
Second is it's a general purpose library. The reason is, Python is more of a general purpose library. Okay, you remember list. In list, you can have it can be heterogeneous. You can have string, you can have number. Okay, that means it is more general purpose. What is the problem with general purpose software? It is meant for all the things. So of course, you compromise for flexibility, you compromise on performance, right? You cannot run F1 car on normal race, normal roads, right? Okay, so that is the reason why Python is generalized for doing many things. That is why it is slow. Okay, and remember, and this NumPy has a lot of functions, mathematical functions, which is not there by default in your list or other data structures. Okay, it is a lot of since it is meant for doing computation, right? So it has a lot of these abilities here. Okay, so now the third part is the fourth part is it is implemented all using C. As you already know, C is the fastest, one of the fastest programming language. So of course, the wrapper it is NumPy, Python, and all that, but internally it is all C. It is so the data structures of NumPy is very much like C array. Okay, all the content type, all the end like in C array, all the data that will be contained inside it will be same. Here also, this is the same constraint. Okay, then remember, like in when you're doing machine learning computation, each pixel is one dimension. How many dimension does a Rubik's cube have?
Yeah.
Three dimension actually. Okay, length, width, and height, three dimension. So in an image, each pixel is a dimension. So in an image of 1024 cross 1024, what is the number of dimension? 10 raised to the power 6, right? So that is the number of dimension that is required in image processing. Okay, of course, this is not the magnitude. It will be little vary and a lot of other things happen. Okay, so to do data structure at such degree, right? You need fast data processing library, and that is what NumPy brings to the table. Okay, as we will see, we'll have inbuilt utilities, and it is mutable. What does mutable means? Its contents are changeable. You can change the contents. Understood, right? Okay. So now let's create a so now the first stage is creating a NumPy data structure so that we can do some computation on it. NumPy creation. Okay. So first is you can create NumPy data structure from list. Understand? See the way I'm doing it. All this thing is marked down. Wherever code. Okay. So first, let me write one more thing from list. List. Okay. So how do you do? So first you have to import NumPy. Import NumPy as NP. Okay, this is importing NumPy. All these packages are inbuilt here, so you don't have to do any external importing. I mean downloading. NP dot array. So what will this do? This will create a NumPy array A, where A contains. If you do A is an array. You see, this is the NumPy array. Understood, right? So NumPy is a very low level data structure. Very low level data structure. You have pandas doing on top of it. Unless you need something to do mathematically, you won't be using NumPy directly. It is a foundation. That means a lot of other things uses NumPy. But as a programmer, you will be, because you have to write everything at low level, you might not, I mean, you will not use NumPy. There are of course libraries like machine learning libraries, scikit-learn, There are pandas which uses NumPy internally. Understood, right? So like it is for high level programming, like for example, you want to learn Java. It's like you start with assembly language. Okay, but you should know it to understand how does that thing work. But the usage, you will more or less find yourself using more pandas and scikit-learn. Fine, right? A NP dot zeros, right? So the next thing is what this is creating a NumPy object from list. Understood, right? Now what we want to do, NumPy. Okay, so if you do 0, you just need to mention here what is the size dimension of it. So 10. Okay, and you have another parameter here, d type. D type is equal to np dot int. Right, I'll explain what is happening now. See here. So what does it mean? 10 elements of 0. And D type means, so you might be aware of how to use help manual. Okay, always do this in case you're. D type means type of the data. Right? You'll see what does it mean. So you'll see here D type, data type optional. And if you don't take, by default, it will be taking as default is float. Understood, right? So hmm? No, it's not that. You can create like 0 is only for numbers, but of course you can create a string and data. I'll show it in a minute. So you can create here float 16, float 32 maybe. And any guesses what is float 32? That means 32 bits it will use to store the data. 32 bytes. Okay. Okay, so 10 data and you can see a dot at the end of each data. Fine. This is 0 NumPy object. So here np dot once. Oh, sorry. All of them are ones. Okay. Full content with okay.
So the hashes you're specifying, size of
Which one is it?
the hashes that you are using for the text. It denotes the size of the text.
I mean, bigger, a lesser number of hashes, bigger the text. H1, H2. Okay. So if you do full, okay. So full, you can mention 10 is the date and how much. Understood, right? And you can see here, d type is equal to less than u5. What does it mean? it means that the text length will be less than 5. Understood? U5, U means unsigned, and 5 means length of the string. Since so if you change any of them to the high, like 10, it will be 10, because it's an array, C array. All the elements is of same size, so that the access is faster. Understood, right?
So by default it is 5.
No. By default 5, because here you have 5 content, so it will create 5. Yeah. Okay, so next we'll see create range of U5 changes according. So if I change, let me do one thing in case that is creating some doubts. So data is equal to good world. See what is happening here. So now, since the entire content is of size 5, what is happening? It is not adding it's not adding any more content to that, right? Because the content is already created for you. The data memory is already allocated for you. Understood, right? So the content is fixed based on this content. But don't worry, you will not be using strings a lot with it. Okay, it's not meant for, mathematically numbers. Okay, so if it's string data, you will use other things to convert into numbers. Just keep this in mind. Okay, so more things coming. So here,
NP is usually fine, right?
yeah, you can change it, but generally, everybody will be using NP. Like this is a alias for NumPy. Understood? Right? This is an alias for NumPy. Okay, so now I will add more dimension to the data structure now. Okay, so np dot once. Okay, two. So you can see here, what did it do here for you? It created a 2 cross or 2 cross 2 cube. What is the total number of data here? 8, right? 2 cube 8. Understood, right? Okay, so you can see here one very important thing which you might fail otherwise. You can see a bracket here. So whenever you are mentioning sizes, right, you will put it in a bracket, tuple. Okay, so I'll use this syntax very often. So the data size will be in the tuple format. Understood, right? Data size will be in the tuple format. Huh? Which one above? This is 2 cross 2 cross 2 matrix. It's a cube. Okay, where each dimension of 2 size. Yes, that is what the specialty is, and it can do any computation. We learn techniques like broadcasting and all, which is meant to do n dimensional. Suppose you have to find difference between this data and this data. Data is represented in n dimension. It can do in one line. It can do the computation for you. Okay, so that's why it is a fast mathematical computation library.
Basically a matrix.
It's basically a matrix. It's basically n dimensional array. That is what is NumPy. Okay, n dimensional array.
I'm going to study that again.
What?
Mathematics.
That yeah. I mean, this is nothing. So we'll come here. Actually, we'll understand what is vectors shortly. Maybe
I have to find out my books.
I'll tell you the books. You get hold of statistics book of class 11th, one book.
Statistics yesterday.
Ashish told you about it. Then there is another book, online stats book. This is another good resource.
That
Okay.
book only.
Yeah.
If you have focusing on AI only or
Hmm?
data science, only stats required for data science.
This is a nice comprehensive guide. I'll tell you the chapters that is required. Okay, you need these. You don't need. This is fine. Normal distribution, sample distribution. So this is actually ANOVA regression. This is a good book actually, good reference. It's not that you will have to do it before you start the course. It can be parallel actually. So whenever you need a topic, you can go here, read about it. That's okay. It works out. Okay, because if you go there, you won't be coming back. Okay, so don't worry about it. It works out. I mean, of course, like for each every topic, whatever is prerequisite, I will be telling you and I'll be explaining whatever is required. You'll get a decent hang of it, if not everything.
Name is
Online statbook.com.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to do this.
Register Anaconda as a system. That's okay.
So
Yeah. Okay. Understood the dimensional aspect. You can add anything here. Okay. Then few more other things. Other thing would be random generating range of data. Generating range of. Okay. So you have np.arrange. Okay, arrange. Like in Python, you have range, right? You have arrange here. You'll have first parameter will be, sorry, you'll have here for starting point, like maybe 5. If you don't want to provide anything, it will be 15. If you do arrange, see, it is generating a NumPy array between 5 and 15, where 15 is exclusive of 15. Understood, right? Okay. Then, okay, the other thing is, if you want, then this function is something that will use for generating random data in machine learning, and anywhere data generation is very integral part of the entire process. So you'll be generating a lot of data. So let's see that. Generating random data. Okay, np dot random. Okay, and after np dot random, if you put tab, you'll see a lot of these functions. Most of these are people you hated most, all scientists name, right? You'll get the here from one is, then you'll have Gaussian will be here somewhere, right? Gamma and Digilet, okay, binomial, right? So you'll find all this pattern, Poisson, right? All this pattern of data generation here. Okay, more or less for data generation, we'll be using 3-4 of them, not all. Okay, that other things are used internally by machine learning algorithm to generate data for training the model, whatever it is. Okay, so for example, I use this rand n. And see here, what has happened here is it has generated some data. Understood, right? It has generated some. I think the if you see the definition, this mean of the data is 0 and standard deviation is 1, something like that. It will be. Understood, right? It generated some 10 data. Of course, I mean many times you don't want one-dimensional data, so you can actually. So if it does not take it, then there are other ways to do it. Okay, if you have to generate a matrix, I'll explain it in a minute. You have an option of reshape 10, 10. Right? Understood, right? You have a reshape 10, 10. I'll explain the reshape part. Reshape is very important part. Random, yeah. So random. It is reshaping it into 8 cross 10 cross 10. It means 10 cross 10 matrix. Just I wanted to show this. Okay. Yeah. Mukesh, tell me.
Avantik, for unaccount installation, you're asking just for me and all users, what should I do?
All users.
All users, yeah.
Right.
Okay, we do have all the 100 data, 100 numbers of data that we generated, but all of it like 10 by 10.
Right. 10 cross 10.
10%.
10 cross 10. I'll come to the shaping part. Shaping is a big topic. Okay. So here if
Assumption is generating 100 numbers of random data.
100 numbers. Okay. So if you see here, okay, so random, it will tell you what is it trying to do here. Okay, so return a sample of standard normal distribution. So what is normal distribution? Normal distribution means data is in this format. Yes, bell curve. Okay, this is your normal distribution. Sorry. Okay, this is a normal distribution. Understood, right? Okay, so it generates data in the normal distribution format, and what additional things it does is, okay, so you know this mu sigma. Okay, so these are your standard deviation, right, and mean. So what does it do? So it will use this information to generate a pattern of data for you. The essential goal is generating the data. These are certain properties. Of course, if you change it, you will get different, pattern of data. That's what it is. Okay, this is your understood, right? First technique. So there are many such techniques. There are many such techniques. If you do NP, so this is all the numbers are between this, right? Negative, positive, and all that. Sometimes you need whole numbers, don't you? So you do NP random dot randint. Okay, here you'll have a start function. Why is it not showing? Start is equal to 1, maybe 10, and 10, 10. Java. So randint. Yeah. So you can see here, this is the starting point, this is the ending point, 10 and 20, and what is the total size? 10 cross 10, the entire content. So it is all the numbers between 10 and 20. It's very useful actually, very useful. So many times you generally want to generate a data, whole number data this way. So you'll see me using this quite often throughout the course, using generating data. Okay, this was like data generation part. Then we have data accessing part. ACCE. Accessing elements. So access the elements, whatever data you have, right? How do you access that? Okay, so for simplicity, I'll use this data itself. Data. Okay, then do data one. Right, what does it mean? It will give you first row. That's right. Okay, so 1 2, understood, right? Second element of the first row, like apparently this guy, 2. Acha, so what happened, why is different here? That is because each of them is getting random. So data of course is changed from here. It is not the same that you are seeing here. Okay, that is why it is 16. If you want to sum the data, you can see here this is 16. That is the data that is finding out it. Fine, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So like whatever list way of accessing you are aware of, that will work seamlessly here. 1 2 3, right? You can see 2 rows coming in here.
It was not taking the first row.
Huh?
Why it was not taking the first row?
No, it is taking the first row. This is your first row. This is first row, and this is your second row, isn't it? This is zeroth row.
Okay.
Understood, right?
Yeah.
This is zeroth row. Fine.
Yeah.
Create a directory. So folks whose installation is complete, create a directory
Avan,
where you want to store all the files.
Avantik,
Yeah.
one second. It was asking that advanced option asked add anaconda to the system path environment variable.
Both of them
Then,
say yes. Both of them take yes.
yeah.
Yes, Indu?
Start. Yeah.
Just create, just after installations, and just create a directory where you want to keep all the files, and go to the
Okay.
directory, and then use the command Jupyter space notebook.
Okay.
When if, right, like all my files will be in one directory, more organized. Organization is very important aspect of a data scientist. I mean, okay, right from keeping the code organized to keeping data organized, it all actually connects one another. Okay. Okay. The Okay. Now, of course, I mean, whatever, like, suppose you have to access this data, these 4 data, 12, 10, and 17, 19. How do you access it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 data. First this, okay. Then 3 to say 6. This is first 2 rows. Then I want these 2 rows, right? First 1, 2, 3, 3. One second. 3 to yeah. Yeah. Fine, right? So 3 to 6, comma 3 to 6. This is the data. Now Now we'll talk about shape, size, and dimension. Okay, shape, size, and dimension. Shape, size, and dimension. Okay, so first is data. If you do data dot shape, it will tell you the shape is 10 cross 10. Okay, if you do data dot size, it will give you 100, right? Total data in it. Understood what is shape, what is size, then what is data dot endim. Okay, it will give you 2. There is number of dimensions here. That is giving you 2 number of dimensions.
That is for the first table, right? Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
This for the first matrix, which 10 by 10.
Yes. Number of dimension is 2, size of the data is 100, shape is 10.
While shaping on, I mean, only the even numbers, like 10, 10 or 2.
You can do 3,7. Yeah.
The last one,
Last one.
Pratik,
Yeah, Mukesh.
what is endim?
Endim is number of dimension. Let me write the comments here. Okay. Yeah, you're saying.
if you give us 3 commas, how will it?
3 rows and 7 columns. Got it, right? This is 3 commas. Okay. Number of dimension in the data. Okay, total size of data. Right? Okay. So now is reshaping the data, which is apparently very important aspect. Reshaping the data. Reshaping means you have 10 cross 10 data, 100 data. You want to make 4 cross 20. Sorry, 5 cross 20. Right? How you do that? So data dot reshape 5 comma 20. If you see the data, it will be now 5 rows of 20 columns. Understood, right?
Okay.
Okay, so you're reshaping it. A very useful tool. Okay, let me show you a few more magic with this. Suppose you have the data like this. D is equal to np np dot arrange. Okay, 10. Now, if you see D is the one-dimensional array. Okay, so D dot reshape -1 comma. Oh, sorry. Wait.
So one dimension.
Yeah, so there are multiple things that you can do here. Suppose whatever is shape of the data here, right? So what you can do, pass this D dot shape. Okay, this will give you the previous data, right? Comma 1. What will it do? Shape. Just 10, come on. Yeah. So what did it do here? It actually, this is one dimensional array, right? What is the shape of this? This is 10 rows with 1 column. Understood, right? This is different from this, right?
Okay.
If you do this dot endim, it will give you 2. Here the endim is 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Here the endim is 1. Here the endim is 2 here. Now,
reshape in any form is what you're saying.
Yes, you can add more dimension also. Like in case you want, okay, you just go to this 3 dimension. Like same data, you're creating one more dimension. Huh?
Without ending can it is output of only reshape.
Of course. You can see more and more brackets coming up there. See this. Understood, right? You can see more and more brackets coming up there. Okay, so understood few things around reshape. Okay. Okay. So how far has installation gone in? I'll upload this code. Okay. Installation is done. You're able to write the code also. That's good. How about you?
For me, I have to do that. I can create one folder in my somewhere here.
Right, and inside go from your PowerShell, go into the folder, right? Jupyter space notebook.
Okay, yeah. Jupyter space
Notebook, yeah.
Space notebook.
Right. Okay. So I'll show where I'm putting this code. I think this has NumPy confirmation creation. Let's see if you can have it. Yeah. So this.
Whatever we're doing, to just save it over there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we can see a few more things that is present here. Accessing same set dimension. Okay. Reshaping data. Everything you have to create a new stuff over there.
From there also we can go.
Right.
So going through that, I have saved. I can see my NumPy.
Right.
Click there also and go.
Right. Click directly opening that. Directly open. I don't think it will open with Jupyter. See, open with Jupyter Notebook or some operation option. I don't think it does actually. You have to run Jupyter Notebook command in your server. I mean, you have to create a. Got it, right? So another way to do this is just type this. So this is the notebook which I'm doing now. Some more. I mean, this is the process I'll be proceeding further. So you might see some small things more like this guy. Okay, this is another way to add whatever way I added now, right? If you want to add one more dimension, right, it will add one more dimension to that, right? NP new access. So understood, right? Comma NP dot new access. Right, you will keep on adding more and more dimension in one shot. Either you write the previous way, this is another way. Difference, no difference at all. This is much more, much more generic because you don't have to mention the size here. Right, you'll just keep adding dimension here again and again, more and more dimension. Like, if you have a 2D array, beyond that you won't be able to imagine. Just imagine a matrix. If you add one dimension in the height in any of the way, it is 3D matrix. You add one more dimension, that is 4D dimension. Beyond that you cannot imagine. Beyond 3D, human cannot imagine. You can limit it here itself. So to add one, just increase one height, that do not need to add more data to that. So you add one dimension. Okay, so everybody is aware where the code and all is, right? Machine learning for beginners. Yeah. This is the entire code. Few things will continue doing it. So NumPy, as you can see, this is a little. I mean, we'll invest around 3 hours on NumPy. Okay, but and we'll be touching around important topic. And most important topic in NumPy that comes in interviews is your broadcasting, because that is little tricky. That part is more of doing computation.